The year was 1996. Cal Poly San Luis Obispo was alive with the energy of a new school year. Among the thousands of students chasing their dreams was 19-year-old Kristin Smart. She was a bright light, full of life and eager to embrace the future. But on the night of May 25th, Kristin vanished. The vibrant campus was suddenly draped in fear and uncertainty. Kristin's disappearance sent shockwaves through the community, leaving a chilling question hanging in the air. What happened to Kristin Smart? It was a Friday night, and Kristin had gone to an off-campus party with friends. The air was filled with excitement, and the promise of a good time. The house was buzzing with energy, and the music could be heard from down the street. The night was young, filled with music and laughter. Kristin and her friends danced, laughed, and enjoyed the carefree moments that college life often brings. The party was in full swing, with people mingling, sharing stories, and making memories. But as the party wound down, Kristin found herself walking back to her dorm alone. Or so everyone thought. The streets were quieter now, the echoes of the party fading into the background. Kristin's footsteps were the only sound in the still night. Witnesses later reported seeing Kristin with a fellow student, Paul Flores. They were seen talking and walking together, seemingly just another pair of students heading home after a night of fun. He would be the last person known to have seen Kristin alive. His demeanor was described as nervous, and his actions that night would later come under intense scrutiny. Despite his claims that he walked her partway home, Kristin simply vanished. The path she took was familiar, one she had walked many times before, but this time, something went terribly wrong. The route back to her dorm was searched, but there was no sign of her. Friends and family grew increasingly worried as hours turned into days. The campus was abuzz with rumors and theories, but no concrete answers. Kristin had disappeared into the night. The once lively campus now felt eerie and somber. Her disappearance left a void, a mystery that haunted everyone who knew her. The search for Kristin would continue, but the answers remained elusive, and the night she vanished would be remembered as a turning point for the community. The initial investigation into Kristin's disappearance was plagued with problems. Leads ran cold, and crucial evidence seemed to be missing. Paul Flores quickly became a person of interest, but despite inconsistencies in his story, there wasn't enough to charge him. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years. Kristin's family clung to hope, but the case grew colder with each passing season. The lack of answers only deepened the mystery surrounding Kristin's fate. Was this a tragic accident, or had something more sinister occurred? In 2019, a podcast called Your Own Backyard breathed new life into the case. Hosted by Chris Lambert, the podcast took a deep dive into Kristin's disappearance.
Lambert, who grew up in the area, was just a boy when Kristin vanished. The case had always haunted him.
He meticulously researched every detail, poring through old case files and tracking down new leads. But what set Your Own Backyard apart was its human touch. Lambert gave voice to Kristin's story, reminding the world of the young woman who had been stolen from her loved ones. Your Own Backyard wasn't just a rehashing of old facts. Lambert's dedication and fresh perspective unearthed crucial new information. Witnesses who had remained silent for years came forward, offering chilling details about the night Kristin disappeared. The podcast also brought to light inconsistencies in the initial investigation, raising questions about potential missteps and missed opportunities. With each episode, the walls seemed to close in on Paul Flores, and the world listened with bated breath. The impact of Your Own Backyard was undeniable. This podcast, meticulously crafted and deeply researched, brought a fresh perspective to a case that had long been cold. It wasn't just another true crime story, it was a call to action. The host's dedication to uncovering the truth resonated with listeners, sparking a renewed sense of urgency and hope. The podcast reignited public interest in Kristin's case, drawing in a new generation of listeners who were too young to remember the initial investigation. Social media buzzed with theories and discussions, and the hashtag #JusticeForKristin trended for weeks. The collective voice of the public became impossible to ignore, putting immense pressure on law enforcement to find answers. The authorities, who had faced criticism for years over their handling of the case, were now under the microscope. Every move they made was scrutinized, and the demand for transparency grew louder. The podcast had not only reignited interest, but it also reignited hope. In 2021, over 2 decades after Kristin's disappearance, a break in the case finally came. New evidence surfaced, thanks in part to the relentless efforts of the podcast and its listeners who provided tips and leads. The breakthrough was a testament to the power of community and the impact of persistent advocacy. Paul Flores and his father, Ruben Flores, were arrested. The news sent shockwaves through the community. Paul, who had long been a person of interest, was finally in custody. His father, Ruben, was also implicated, adding another layer of complexity to the case. Paul was charged with Kristin's murder, a charge that many had believed should have been brought years earlier. The delay in justice had been a source of frustration and pain for Kristin's family and supporters, while Ruben was charged as an accessory. The involvement of a family member in the crime added a tragic dimension to the case, highlighting the lengths to which some would go to protect their own. The trial was a long and emotional journey for Kristin's family. They had waited over 2 decades for this moment, enduring years of uncertainty and heartache. The courtroom became a place of both sorrow and hope, as they faced the men accused of taking Kristin from them, and the community that had never forgotten her. Vigils and memorials were held, serving as a reminder that Kristin's spirit lived on in the hearts of those who loved her. The community's unwavering support provided strength to her family during the grueling trial. Finally, in 2022, a verdict was reached. The tension in the courtroom was palpable as the judge read the decision. It was a moment that many had feared might never come, but justice was finally within reach. Paul Flores was found guilty of murder. The verdict was a significant victory for Kristin's family and the community that had fought tirelessly for justice. It was a moment of validation for all who had believed in Kristin's story and had worked to keep her memory alive. Justice, it seemed, had finally been served. The emotional reactions in the courtroom were a testament to the long and arduous journey that had led to this point. Tears of relief and joy flowed freely as Kristin's family and supporters embraced the long-awaited verdict. The case of Kristin Smart had finally reached a resolution, bringing a sense of closure to a community that had never given up hope. Kristin Smart's case sent shockwaves far beyond the courtroom. Her disappearance exposed flaws in campus security protocols and highlighted the vulnerability of young people, particularly women, on college campuses. In response to the tragedy, California enacted Kristin's Law, which requires universities to have clear agreements with local law enforcement regarding reporting violence against students, including missing persons. This legislation aimed to prevent future tragedies and ensure that no family would have to endure the agonizing uncertainty that the Smarts faced. Even with Paul Flores behind bars, the nightmare wasn't over. The location of Kristin's remains remained a mystery, denying her family the closure they desperately craved. The search for Kristin's body continued, fueled by the hope that one day she could be laid to rest. The case also served as a stark reminder of the ripple effect of violence. The trauma of Kristin's disappearance lingered, leaving an indelible mark on her family, friends, and the community that had fought so long for justice. The story of Kristin Smart is a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the shadows. On a seemingly ordinary night, a young life was abruptly taken, leaving a void that would haunt her family and community for decades. The mystery surrounding her disappearance cast a long, dark shadow, a constant reminder of the evil that can exist in the world. Yet even in the darkest of times there is a glimmer of light, a spark of hope that refuses to be extinguished. But it is also a testament to the enduring power of hope, resilience, and the human spirit. The community rallied together, refusing to let Kristin's memory fade into obscurity. They organized searches, held vigils, and kept her story alive in the media. This collective effort was not just about finding Kristin, it was about standing up against the darkness and showing that love and hope can prevail even in the face of unimaginable tragedy, and the pursuit of justice. The relentless determination of law enforcement, combined with the unwavering support of the community, eventually led to breakthroughs in the case. The courtroom became a battleground where justice was sought, and the arrest of those responsible brought a sense of closure and relief to Kristin's loved ones. It was a moment of triumph, a victory for justice, and a testament to the power of perseverance. Chris Lambert's Your Own Backyard demonstrated the profound impact that investigative journalism can have, shining a light on cold cases and bringing new attention to forgotten stories. His dedication to uncovering the truth and his meticulous research played a crucial role in reigniting interest in Kristin's case. Through his podcast, Lambert not only informed the public, but also inspired others to take action and get involved in the search for justice. Not only in solving cold cases but also in giving a voice to the voiceless. His work highlighted the importance of never giving up, of continuing to seek answers even when the trail has gone cold. It showed that every story matters, every person deserves to be heard, and every case deserves to be solved. The impact of his work extended far beyond Kristin's case, bringing hope to countless other families still searching for their loved ones, but also in giving a voice to the voiceless. His work highlighted the importance of never giving up, of continuing to seek answers even when the trail has gone cold. It showed that every story matters, every person deserves to be heard, and every case deserves to be solved. The impact of his work extended far beyond Kristin's case, bringing hope to countless other families still searching for their loved ones. Kristin's legacy lives on, not only in the hearts of those who loved her, but also in the laws enacted to protect others. Her story has inspired legislative changes aimed at preventing similar tragedies and ensuring that victims and their families receive the support and justice they deserve. The impact of her life and the fight for justice in her name have created a ripple effect, leading to positive changes that will benefit countless others, but also in the laws enacted to protect others. Her story has inspired legislative changes aimed at preventing similar tragedies and ensuring that victims and their families receive the support and justice they deserve. The impact of her life and the fight for justice in her name have created a ripple effect, leading to positive changes that will benefit countless others, and the unwavering commitment to ensuring that no one is ever forgotten. The community's dedication to keeping Kristin's memory alive serves as a powerful reminder that we all have a role to play in the pursuit of justice. By coming together, sharing stories, and supporting one another, we can create a world where hope triumphs over despair, and where every life is valued and remembered.